Imagine if every harsh word or exclusion left a mark invisible to the eye, but deeply etched on the mind. What if the science behind those wounds could help us heal them? Welcome, I'm Sia, your science-informed assistant and narrator at Empathic Psychologist. Here, we translate leading research and clinical wisdom into actionable steps for families like yours. This episode, we're unwrapping the impact of bullying on child mental health and development. Is bullying just a rite of passage, or does it silently sabotage a child's future? We'll tackle emotional distress, academic setbacks, and broken trust, then give you concrete tools for resilience. Along the way, you'll hear terms like internalization, where emotional pain turns inward, like swallowing sadness whole, and psychosomatic symptoms, where invisible stress shows up as stomachaches or sleepless nights. Act 1. The unseen emotional toll. Act 2. Developmental disruption in school and friendships. Act 3. Hope, healing, and how you can help. Ready to decode the science and restore your child's confidence? Let's dive in. You've probably heard someone say, bullying is just part of growing up. But is that really true? What if I told you that science soundly rejects this myth? Research consistently shows that bullying is not a harmless phase, but a significant risk factor for lasting emotional and developmental harm. In clinical psychology, we call bullying a chronic stressor. Think of it like carrying an invisible, heavy backpack that never comes off, even at home. Now you might be thinking, but kids are resilient, right? True, but resilience requires support, not exposure to unchecked harm. Let's break down what actually happens beneath the surface when bullying goes unaddressed. Remember when schoolyard bullying stopped at the school gates? These days, the attacks often follow children home right into their bedrooms, thanks to smartphones and social media. Cyberbullying multiplies the trauma by allowing hurtful messages to spread rapidly and linger online. Imagine a rumor whispered once versus a video replayed 1,000 times. The term pervasive exposure describes how online harassment invades every corner of a child's life, making escape nearly impossible. Now, you might ask, can a single text really be that harmful? The evidence says yes. Digital wounds can hurt as deeply as physical ones. Let's look at what all this means for a child's emotional well-being. When bullying is relentless, children often turn the pain inward, a process psychologists call internalizing. Picture a child who starts believing the worst things said about them. This can manifest as chronic anxiety or depression, when negative self-talk becomes constant background noise. You might see a once outgoing child withdraw or lose interest in activities they loved. That's the power of self-stigma, like seeing yourself through the eyes of your harshest critic. Now imagine a hypothetical conversation. Am I really not good enough? If that's the inner dialogue, the risk of lasting emotional scars grows. Why does this happen? Because repeated social rejection rewires how a child sees their own value. Did you know children's bodies often speak when their words can't? Emotional pain from bullying frequently shows up as real physical symptoms, what clinicians call psychosomatic complaints. Picture a child with frequent headaches or stomach aches, especially on school mornings. These symptoms aren't imaginary, they are stress signals, like a smoke alarm for the psyche. Other signs can include changes in appetite, persistent fatigue, or trouble sleeping, sometimes even nightmares. You might think, should I worry if my child is always tired? If there's no clear medical cause, emotional stress could be the hidden culprit. Recognizing these clues early can prompt timely support and prevent further harm. What happens to a child's learning when they feel unsafe? The answer is stark. Academic performance often plummets. Bullying drains cognitive resources, a phenomenon psychologists call executive function overload. Imagine trying to solve math problems while dodging emotional landmines. Result? Trouble concentrating, missed assignments, or a sudden dip in grades. Some children even develop strong resistance to attending school, leading to more absences. Perhaps you've wondered, why is my child so reluctant to go to school? The answer may lie not in academics, but in the social environment. Protecting a child's sense of safety is key to restoring their focus and love of learning. How does bullying reshape a child's view of friendship? Unfortunately, repeated hurt can make trust feel risky. Psychologists refer to this as developing social vigilance, constantly scanning for threats, not fun. A child who once enjoyed group activities might avoid sports teams or social gatherings, fearing new betrayals. Now you might ask, is this just shyness? Not always. When fear of exclusion overrides curiosity, it's a sign of deeper relational wounds. Healing begins with restoring trust, both at home and in safe community spaces. If you're thinking, how can I help my child feel safe again? Know that your support is powerful medicine. The family's first job is to be a secure base, a place where children know they're accepted, no matter what. Open communication is key. Listen without judgment, validate their feelings, and praise their courage for speaking up. Maybe you wonder, should I jump in to fix everything? Sometimes, just being present and empathetic is the most healing thing you can do. This foundation is what allows children to rebuild resilience and confidence. What role do schools play in tackling bullying? A crucial one. Schools have a duty of care, meaning they're legally and ethically bound to protect students. Start by scheduling a meeting with your child's teacher or principal. Present clear facts, dates, descriptions, and any evidence you have. Ask for a specific, documented action plan. This is called a safeguarding protocol, like a personalized safety net for your child. You might worry, will my concerns actually be heard? With persistence and good documentation, most schools do respond. Remember, regular updates and open lines of communication can make all the difference. Is it time to consider professional support? When bullying's impact lingers, therapy can offer what family and schools can't. A confidential, expert-guided space. Child therapists use culturally sensitive interventions, like custom-tailored exercises that fit your child's background and needs. These sessions foster emotional regulation, teaching kids practical ways to handle big feelings, kind of like learning to steer a ship in rough waters. Now, you might ask, will my child be labeled or stigmatized? In reality, therapy is an empowering tool, not a mark of failure. Seeking help early can transform pain into resilience and open the door to true healing. Can children truly bounce back from bullying? The science and stories say yes, if they're supported early and compassionately. With the right interventions, children recover their academic focus, build new friendships, and learn to trust again. This is known as post-traumatic growth, where adversity, once processed, can lead to stronger self-awareness and deeper empathy. Let me tell you, many families have walked this path and emerged more connected and resilient than before. The journey isn't linear, but with support, each small step is progress. Let's wrap up with 3 key takeaways. First, bullying is never just a phase. It can harm mental health and development if ignored. Second, emotional distress often shows up in both feelings and physical symptoms, so listen carefully to your child's words and body. Third, resilient recovery is possible with family support, school collaboration, and professional care when needed. Your next step? Schedule a family check-in tonight. Open the door for honest conversation. If you found value in today's episode, stay tuned. Our next show tackles digital safety for kids, how to keep their online world as safe as their offline one. Remember, the secure bases you build now is like emotional armor for every challenge ahead. Subscribe and connect with empathic psychologists for more practical, science-based guidance. Together, we'll keep your family thriving.